barrel, what do they find? Okay. What's the verse? 34. Yeah, I got it. So, Hare Krishna, thank you for coming to class. Hearing is the most important, even from a fool. Until we realize Krishna fully, but imperfection is the path of perfection. So, nice cool water on a beautiful day. Every day is beautiful if you can chant Hare Krishna in that day. Right? Matraspasas good. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. But a good day is one when you are chanting. Am I right? So, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribhakatara Sarasi Simat His Divine Grace Srila Asa Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribhakatara Sarasi Simat His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai. Srila Gopishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Jagannath Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda, Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakambhitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagadpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hare Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, translation and commentary, inspired by Srila Prabhupada and done so by his dedicated disciples. Please repeat. Swajana, Sudatma, Dhara, Dana, Dhamma, Darshu, Rathais, Tvai, Sati, Kim, Nrinam, Shrajyata, Atmani, Sarvarase, Iti, Sad, Agyanatam, Mithunnato, Rataye, Charatam, Sukayati Konviha Svavihate Swanihrasta Bhage Swajana Sudatma Dharadana Dharmadare Shurathais Tvai Sati Kim Nrinam Shrajyata Atmani Savarase Iti Sad Agyanatam Vimuttam Nato Rataye Charantam Shukayati Kon Viha Swa Vidyate Swarasasa Bharge. Okay, go ahead. Swajana Satatma Dharadana Dharmadara Suryastes Isata Kim Nirnam Sayata Atmani Sarvarase Iti Sadaganatam Vimutanato Rate Nityaratam Sukayati Konviha Sarasahate Swarastadage. Mataji, Vaishnavis. Swajana Suatman Daradhana Dhama Darasturatais Tvai Satakim Nihrani Sutanamurase Okay, word for word, please repeat. Swajana, with servants. Suta, children. Atma, body. Dara, wife. Dana, money. Dharma, Om. Dara, land. Ashu, vitality. Rathai, and vehicles. Twayi, when you. Sati, have become. Kim, what use? Nrinam, for human beings. Shradyata, who are taking shelter. Atmani, their very self. Savarase, the embodiment of all pleasures. Iti, thus. Sat, the truth. Agyanatam, for those who fail to appreciate. Bitunnataha, from sexual combinations. Rataye, for sensual indulgence. Charatam, carrying on. Sukhayati, gives happiness. Kaha, what? Nu, at all. Iha, in this world. Swa, by its very nature. Vihate, which is subject to destruction. Swa, by its very nature. Nirasta, which is devoid. Barge, of any essence. Translation by the devotees. To those persons who take shelter of you, you reveal yourself as the Supersoul, the embodiment of all transcendental pleasure. What further use have such devotees for their servants, children, or bodies, their wives, money or houses, their land, good health or conveyances, and for those who fail to appreciate the truth about you and go on pursuing the pleasures of sex? What could be in this entire world? What could there be in this entire world? A place inherently doomed to destruction and devoid of significance. What could give them real happiness? Very strong words. Right, please repeat. To those persons who take shelter of you, you reveal yourself as the Supersoul, the embodiment of all transcendental pleasure. What further use have such devotees for their servants, children, or bodies, their wives, money or houses, their land, good health or conveyances? And for those who fail to appreciate the truth about you and go on pursuing the pleasures of sex, what could there be in this entire world? A place inherently doomed to destruction and devoid of significance that could give them real happiness. So, this is not mincing words about the material world. So, purport, again by the wonderful devotees. So, this is quite philosophical, so we'll explain the verse, the purport, as we go along. And then we'll get more from the verse and the purport itself. So, starting, devotional service to Lord Vishnu is considered pure when one's sole desire is to please the Lord. So that's a very wonderful starting sentence, isn't it? Devotional service to Lord Vishnu is considered pure when one's sole desire is to please the Lord. Right? There is one sloka. Krishna Bhakta Naiskam Atayeva Shanti Bhukti Mukti Spriha Sakale Ashanti. The devotee of Krishna is Naiskam. He has no desire materially. He has desire to serve the Lord. Just like this verse, this sentence, when one's sole desire is to please the Lord, that's his inspiration. That is ahoitaki bhakti. So the others who want bhukti, mukti, siddhi, what is bhukti? Sense enjoyment. Mukti means freedom from the material energy. Bhukti means to enjoy the material energy, to be a controller and enjoyer. Bhukti means, mukti means I've learned my lesson. Now I want to liberation, but it's still I want. It's still my desire. And then siddhi, that is the interest of the Astanga yogis, Raj yogis, whatever. They want to have material perfections. So that is put under karma also, because the gross materialist wants bhukti, he wants to enjoy the material energy, but the yogi wants to enjoy the material energy in a more subtle and powerful fashion. But the underlying mentality is me. I want to satisfy my desires. So, Ashanti. They're agitated. Why? Because the material energy puts up so much obstacles. If you want to enjoy your senses, just like this verse, what's the use of all these things? Money, wealth, position, wife, home. You can't really enjoy them because we are spirit soul. That's what Durvasa told the gopis when they came and brought him some sweet rice. They offered him the sweet rice, and then they asked, who has eaten the sweet rice? And the Durvasa Muni said, not me. Basically, I am the Atma in this body. I have not taken the sweet rice. My body, which is earth, water, fire, air, ether, that has taken the sweet rice. So if you want to cross the river now, this is in Gopal Tapani Upanishad, if you want to cross the river, then just say, Durvasa has not eaten. If you cross the other way, the gopis asked Krishna, we want to, who should we feed? And then Krishna said, there's a sadhu on the other side, Durvasa Muni. How will we cross the river? Just say Krishna is a brahmachari. Interesting statement. Krishna is a brahmachari. Actually, brahmachari means brahmachari. It means servant of the Supreme. So Krishna is not enjoying, he is serving the Supreme. So he is brahmacharya. He is a servant of the Supreme. Krishna, we are eternally servants by our nature. What's that verse? Jivara Swarupai Krishnera Nityadas. That is, so we get that. We are servant of the Supreme. Why? We are Angsa of Krishna. He is servant of his creation. In the material world, we want to serve ourselves. But in the spiritual world, people want to serve the Supreme. They want to serve the Supreme Lord and his expansions, his devotees. And where do they get that impetus? Because that is within Krishna. Krishna is Ishvara Parama Krishna, he is the master. That is the Aishwarya approach to Krishna. But the devotees, they see another aspect of Krishna. They don't consider him the Supreme Lord. They just think he's the local hero. He's one of us in Braj. And we like to serve him. And Krishna is the servant of his devotees. Because the Vedas are explaining this, that everything is, excuse me, resting upon Krishna. And without Krishna's sanction and involvement, nothing can be moved or achieved. He is the ultimate principle. He is facilitating our service to ourselves in the material world, bhakti mukti, or he is facilitating our service. He is, what's that verse? No, karanam vidya. He has nothing to do. Everyone has to work in this world, but Krishna has nothing to do. He tells Arjuna, but still I am engaged in work to show a good example. And I am engaged in the service of my devotees. Ye tam mam prapadyante tam steva bhajamiyaham. Why? Out of my causeless ecstasy. Krishna is param tattva. He is the absolute truth. He is completely self-sufficient and independent, unlimitedly so. He is achintya. He has achintya shakti. He doesn't require, just like Nara Narayan Rishi. They were meditating, that's Krishna and Arjuna in another expansion, in Badrik Ashram. It's there at the end of the Bhagavatam, 11th canto, I believe. And Indra, oh, look at these two sadhus, they are performing austerity. My position is under threat. If they become too austere, they may dislodge me. So we shouldn't be offensive to Indradev. These pastimes directly embodying the Supreme Lord, they're not Maya. They are Yoga Maya. They're not Maha Maya, they're Yoga Maya. So Krishna is engaging his devotees in Leela. And so he sent some women. Who was that? Menaka, who distracted Vasishta. Vishramita, yeah. His big rival was Vasishta. They were always contentious. But eventually, Vishramita became Brahminically situated, and Lord Brahma and Vasishta Muni, the guru of Ram, performed his induction as a qualified Brahmin. So Menaka, Vishramita was trying, wow, these Brahmins have got more power than me. As a Kshatriya, they have. So I'm going to meditate on the absolute truth. And I will get that power. But then Menaka, tinkling, tinkling. Subari Muni in the river, he saw 2 fish. Good. I'll ask the king for a dozen daughters. So in this way, without pure bhakti, without getting the higher taste of unmotivated service, Janmani Janmani Ishwari Bhagata Bhakti Oitaki Twahi, without getting the higher taste of selfless service, motiveless spiritual service, we will become easily distracted. So, bhukti mukti, sakale ashanti, they're easily disturbed. What does it say in the Bhagavatam? Hi upadruta, Kalo Yoga, in Kali Yoga, Manda Samanda, Matna Pagya, Hi upadruta. People are very agitated because passion and ignorance. Enjoy this world. They're watching television, they're reading magazines, this and that. How to control and enjoy. They're always disturbed. And so there's so much conflict. But the devotee, he wants to relate to Krishna without self-motivation. Last Bhagavatam class we discussed this, if you remember. That the devotee, his, just like this first sentence, is just may I serve Krishna. And that is Krishna's mood also. We didn't discuss that last class. But Krishna, he is Atmaram. But he's not static. He's ecstatic. So he expands in, that is the beginning of the Adi Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Radha and Krishna are one, but they have expanded as separate. Why? To enjoy the bliss of pastimes. So everything is an attendant, a stimulant, a participant in the bliss of Krishna's pastimes with his various expansions and energies. That's the purpose of creation. So who can ever think of a better reason? That's what we want to do. We want to enjoy. But we're trying to enjoy selfishly, not selflessly. So Krishna is selfless. Everything is within him. When Indra sent the beautiful girls, then Krishna expanded. Endless. Urvasi was manifest at that time. And she was the most beautiful. And she was given as the ornament of the Svargaloka. And she was actually in line, she was great-great-grandmother of the Pandavas. So when Arjuna went to Svargaloka, Urvasi, the protocol there is that the women do the choosing at least. But Arjuna said, no, you're my great-great-grandmother. We cannot have relations. So Urvasi, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. You will become a eunuch. So he became the eunuch dancing teacher. Of who? Who was the lady? Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Uttara. Yes. So it's very interesting. So anyway, Krishna, he has nothing to gain, but he is distributing ecstasy to his expansions. He's selfless in his worship of and interaction with his devotees. So the purity of a devotee is his selfless service to Krishna. So like we said last class, a couple of weeks ago, it's very important to understand this. This is where the Deviant, Vaishnav, Sahajiyas and all the rest, they are trying to enjoy material world and they're frustrated. And then they think, I'll enjoy the spiritual, I'll enjoy Vaishnavism, and I'll become a devotee so I can get this relationship and this position. And by my meditation, my Siddha Pranali, which is nonsense concoction, I will, by my meditation, charge into the spiritual world like a great devotee and attain what I want. This is just the same mentality. I will control and enjoy the material world. And with this mentality, they are putting obstacles on their path of progress. But if they become selfless, and they have just like this wonderful sentence, their only desire is to please Krishna through their service, then their Swarup, which is inbuilt, intrinsic to the soul, Jivara Swarupoi, will manifest. But as long as they're selfishly approaching spiritual or even Lord Chaitanya, that Swarup will not manifest. So that is why Lord Chaitanya is saying, let me be just a spark of dust at your feet. I am not asking for anything. As we said last class, Lord Brahma is saying, I just want to be grass in Vrindavan. He's not saying, I want to be, an assistant to Radharani. I'm going to meditate in this way. No, he's saying, let me become grass So the dust of the gopis' feet come on my head. He's not aspiring for some enjoyable position for him. That is not selfless devotion. And then, with this attitude, selfless devotion, that's when Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhaka Banai. We have a relationship, constitutional, inbuilt to the soul. Even in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says that. All living entities have a particular relationship with the Supreme Lord. And this is what Bhakti Siddhanta fought against. They were saying, oh no, I have got a good Diksha Patra. You don't read that in the Goswami's writing. I'll give you Siddha Pranali on the basis of my Diksha Patra, and you will attain this position. This is all nonsense. This is all selfish approach. So Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhaka will not awaken with this misconception. One is putting obstacles. One should understand, I have my constitutional relationship that's inbuilt to the soul, but that will flourish when Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhaka Banai Shravanadi Sudha Chitte Karide Udai. The soul is Nitya Siddha, perfect, with prem, but that prem has inbuilt mood of affection to Krishna, and that is the Swarup. The Swarup is the mood of the prem. So first awaken rag, then prem, bhava bhakti. But don't, at the neophyte stage, dress yourself as a gopi, right, like the Shaki Bedis, I think they're called, and think, I'm dressed like a gopi. It helps me think I'm with Krishna. I'm sorry, you need a little more Siddhanta. So, it is very simple when we understand we have constitutional relationship and we have constitutional prem. And that will awaken when we're selfless. Krishna Bhakta, nice calm, sakale ashanti, no material agitation, because his devotional mood, his swarup, is growing in that. So he's realizing the Supreme Lord directly and internally. So this is an important point. We don't come to Krishna asking for something other than may my service attitude develop. And then what you decide. And this is what Lord Chaitanya, is it not? He says, Alishyava pararatam panashtamam. Whether you trample me or embrace me, I'm still your servant. And what does he say? After Ayinanda, he says, Nayanam Gladasrudar, I'm chanting and now I'm feeling separation. He's not saying, now I'm in the spiritual world, realizing my Swarup. Lord Chaitanya and the six Goswamis expanded, Seva in the mood of separation. I haven't achieved Krishna. I haven't become purified. With this mood, then this selfless mood attracts the selfless attention of Krishna. It's very simple when you understand it. But all the complications that the upper sampradayas involve, that's why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta had a big fight with the caste Goswamis and caste Brahmanas of Navadvip, because they were giving their concoction. Oh, I'll give you Swarup, I'll give you Swarup. This is impersonalism. If you say the soul has no inherent Swarup, it's just a spark of consciousness or chit, then that is impersonalism. He has no consciousness. It's material conception. We have an artificial body added to our soul. So when you go to spiritual world, you're still a spark, but you artificially, you will have a spiritual body. It's another material conception carried into Vaishnava Siddhanta. So, Lord Chaitanya taught, Nayanam Gladasudhara, I am chanting, having not attained the perfection of Seva Bhav. I haven't attained attitude of service. And I'm trying to. And it's growing. So remember that, it's very important. You don't have anything to worry about. You have your Swarup, you have everything. But we have to, Buddhi Yogam. Buddhi Yogam means sadhana bhakti. We have to understand Siddhanta and act on that basis in our devotional practice. And then it will naturally arise by grace of Guru, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, all sadhus. It's inbuilt. It's progressively. So anyway, that's one sentence. Sorry. Situated in that perfect consciousness, a Vaishnava has no further interest in worldly gains. This purport now is going into, he's no interest in bhukti mukti siddhi, and is thus excused from any obligation to perform ritual sacrifices and follow austere practices of yoga. The Mundoka Upanishad says, when a Brahmin recognizes that elevation to the heavenly planets is merely another accumulation of karma, he becomes renounced and is no longer corrupted by his action. Priyat Aranya 449 and Katha Upanishad confirm. When a person completely gives up the sinful desires he is harboring in his heart, he exchanges mortality for eternal spiritual life and attains real pleasure in the absolute truth. Yes. So this is the point. We have to give up those things by getting the higher taste. And the higher taste is the cultivation of selfish devotion, selfless devotion to the Supreme Lord, to the spiritual master, to Lord Chaitanya, to every devotee, qualified devotee. That is the key to spiritual realization, but not maintaining this personal interest, whether material or this. And another verse occurs where we just discussed the constitutional nature of the Swarup. And what is the invocation of the Ishupanishad? Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Utachite Purnasya Panamadayam Purnam Eva Vasishite. The Supreme Lord is perfect and complete. Therefore all emanations from Him, such as the Jiva soul, that means you, me and everyone else listening, they are perfect and equipped. They are perfectly equipped. We are perfectly equipped with our Swarup. So these Deviant Sampradayas, they are telling, oh, you're just an impersonal spark. But by the grace of then Bhakti Siddhanta, no. And if you read the books of Bhakti Vinod, the essays of Bhakti Siddhanta, and you read all the Vaishnava, you will never find their practices. You will just find the simple point. Develop ahoitaki twayi. What is that? I think we call it last class, but repetition is necessary. Save pumsham parad dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaja. The highest dharma is to serve Adhoksha, the Transcendental Lord. Such bhakti should be ahoitiki, selfless, and apratiyata, unbroken. Yenatma suprasidati. It's the same idea. The Krishna Bhakta Shanta is not materially agitated because he's getting the higher taste. His Seva Bhav is developing, and with that Seva Bhav he's realizing Krishna, and he puts everything in the hands of Krishna. That is surrender. Yeyatam mam prapadyante tam staiva bhajamiyaham mamavad manvartante tam staiva bhajamiyaham. The first two lines are for the devotees. Yeyatam mam They are surrendering. They're under Krishna. But mamavartmanuvartante, those that don't surrender to Krishna, they're under Krishna in the form of the karma, the laws of karma. So everyone is following Krishna. The devotees are directly surrendering to Krishna, and the karmis, the siddhis and all these bhaktis and all that, they are surrendering to Krishna's law of karma, thinking, I'm the master. So, and the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Purva 15 concludes, devotional service is the process of worshipping the Supreme Lord. It consists of fixing one's mind upon Him by becoming disinterested in all material designations, both in this life and the next. This indeed is true renunciation. Right? We'll say the important part. By becoming disinterested in all material, Rishikesha Rishikeda Sevanam Bhakti Uchate. So Sanatana Dharma is acting on the spiritual platform above the upadhis. So by Siddhanta, we come to that conclusion, and then we can perform bhakti on that Siddhanta, that realized platform. I'm not the body, just like Durvasa told Gandhavika. That's the name of Radharani in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad. That the sage hasn't eaten the sweet rice. Because I'm the soul. So this is very simple to understand. The items the Shrutis mention, the Shrutis means the Vedas. Now interesting, the other day I was listening to Morning Walk with Prabhupada, and the devotees, they asked Prabhupada many questions. And one of the questions is, the scholars are sometimes asking Prabhupada, when do the Vedas appear? Right? What's the history? Because they are materialist, they think of everything in terms of time. They can't explain time, but they think in terms of time. So, when did the Vedas appear? Was it 500 years ago? Prabhupada gives a very interesting answer. He says, Veda means knowledge. When does knowledge appear? Knowledge appears by the grace of Krishna eternally. Vidya. Under the ecstasy of devotional service, selfless devotional service, loses all attraction for these things, since he finds real satisfaction in the Supreme Lord. Right, what is that? Matara paramanya. Raso vajam rasopyasya param drisva nivartate. Since he finds real satisfaction in the Supreme Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, who enjoys by sharing his own pleasures with his servitors. We are each free to choose the course of our life, right? So this is very interesting. Bhajitam priti purvakam, what does Krishna then say? Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Yes, I'm chanting Hare Krishna selflessly. Will I attain Krishna automatically? No. This automatic thing, there's no automatic. It's all according to how you apply yourself. Dadami buddhi yogam. Buddhi yogam, that means sadhana. Buddhi means I will give intelligence by which he can choose. So approach to Krishna is on the basis of making the right choice to the alternatives and the vision that Krishna presents. So we should understand that very carefully. Yes, Krishna will give me intelligence, but I've got to choose the right thing. Then I will attain. Not, I chant like a parrot, and then I will attain Krishna. No. I chant Hare Krishna, cultivating selfless devotion, meditating on Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. This should be our consciousness when we chant. We're meditating on Radha and Krishna. Ram means he who gives pleasure to Radha in the Maha Mantra. Some people say Balaram, Ram or Purush. No. Rama means he who gives pleasure to Rama. So we meditate on Krishna and we meditate on the Maha Mantra in the mood of understanding selfless devotion. We're calling upon Krishna in separation, hoping to make some contribution for his devotional service. That has to be our... And then our relationship on a adhokshaja wakes up very easily. We are each free to choose, yes, the course of our life. We can either dedicate our body, mind and words, talents and wealth to the glory of God, or else we can ignore him and struggle instead for our personal happiness. And like I'll say again, don't go to spiritual life in this crippled mentality. I'm going to spiritual life so I can be happy. No. We say sometimes, chant and be happy. But actually our devotion is chant and suffer in separation. So, or else we can ignore him and struggle instead for personal happiness. The second path lives to a life of slavery to sex and ambition, in which the soul never feels real satisfaction, but instead suffers continually. Vaishnavas are distressed to see the materialists suffering in this way, and so they always strive to enlighten them. Srila Sridhar Swami says, for those who worship you, you become their very self, their spiritual treasure of topmost bliss. What further use have they for mundane wives, children, and so forth? So because Topal Tapani Upanishad, which is part of the Vedas, is Shruti, was mentioned last night, I was rereading it. And one very nice verse is there, number 48 in the first section. Therefore Krishna is the supreme deity. One should meditate upon him. One should relish him. Now remember in the Gita it says, Rajavidya Raja Susukam Kartam Avyayam, that devotional service is happily performed. You must pick up spiritual happiness as an inspiration in your sadhana. One should relish him, and one should engage in his worship with a desire to serve. This is Ahoitaki Bhakti. No, Sabai Pumsam Paro Dharmo. So this is and also very interesting, it says here, at Sridhar Swami, such a great sage, for those who worship you become their very self. Now also, later on in the Gopal Tapani, I didn't realize this at the time, but it says that the devotee in his worship considers, I am Krishna. So you might think, what is that? And then the explanation comes. Yes, we are Krishna. We are Angsa of Krishna. Achincha Beda Bed. We are Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Everything is Krishna ultimately. But we are the separated part. Mama Angsa, Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are eternally individuals, but we are Angsa of Krishna. So it explains there that when we perform bhajan, when we perform seva, we should be thinking, yes, I am Krishna. In the sense we identify ourselves as his devotees, as part and parcel of Krishna. This is a very subtle point. You understand? We are Krishna. Everything is Krishna. This is all Krishna's energy. We are Krishna. But we are not the fountainhead. We are the expansion out of his ecstasy. Krishna is not static, he's ecstatic. So we are part of parcel of Krishna, and our identity, Sava Upadi Vine Muktam. Yes, you give up Upadi. Give up Upadi. But what is my designation? I'm part and parcel of Krishna. So we chant in that mood. But now, Lord, I'm separated by material circumstances. But now I'm cultivating selfless devotion in my chanting and study and service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we have 3 minutes for questions and answers. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Ji. Maharaj Ji, first of all, such amazing throw of voice you are having, so much of liveliness, youthfulness, youthfulness, prana in your voice. Yes.
Don't praise
really.
Me too much.
Yes. No. And yes, it's a fact. It's a fact, Prabhuji. Youngest orator. No, and I'm not kidding on it. So, Prabhuji, Maharaj Ji, what you are talking about? Selfless devotion. Yes. So every single word of yours is absolute truth, but I'm not understanding this word selflessness. Selflessness. Why so? Because scriptures are loaded with the fact that, for example, Sur Nar Muni सब की यह रीति स्वार्थ लागी करही सब प्रीति. Sub means all. So means for a second, and scriptures are loaded with not for a second we can think out of ourselves, and so this particular aspect I'm not understanding.
Yes, I know, I understand the essence of your question. You say, is it selfish to desire selflessly in that way? But you're saying we're all selfishly based, right? But that is your material conditioning speaking. If you were a liberated soul in pure bhakti, in pure prem bhakti, you would be forgetful of yourself. You see the point? In your ecstasy, Krishna is forgetful of himself in the Golok Leela. So the living entities are forgetful of their own self-interest in Golok Transcendental Leela. You have to that, okay, I'm selfishly trying to be selfless, but really the end point is to be selfless. So you are being selfless. Do you understand? Do you see the point? Because the end goal is to be selfless. So even though you are performing that practice, because the end goal is selflessness, it is selfless in essence. Do you understand? And we have to understand that there are two types of devotees, Siddha Bhakta and Sadhaka Bhakta. So Sadhaka Bhakta, he's regulated by Yukta Vairag of his material facilities, but he's cultivating Sanatan Dham with the correct understanding. So yes, he is acting, but he is realizing that Krishna is present in my devotional activities. And so as he realizes the presence of Krishna, his selflessness develops into bhava and ecstasy. Do you see the point? So initially, yes, but that is the state you're describing is everyone in the material world. We have all become fixated upon ourselves. But by hearing the Shastra, the sadhus, the acharyas, the great liberated souls, we become inspired to an understanding of the selfless consciousness. And therefore we read the Leela of Krishna. We read Krishna book, and we read the selflessness of Narada Muni, of the gopis, the cowherd boys. When the gopis heard Krishna's flute song, they didn't think, oh, let's go to enjoy with Krishna. No, they heard the flute song and they thought, let us go, and Krishna is calling us for service. Let us go and serve Krishna. So we have to have that selfless understanding. We have, through the Shastra, through the philosophy, and we have to cultivate an understanding of that in our chanting. And because the goal is selflessness, that is selfless devotion. Do you see the point? So, any other question? Yes.
Kesi Damana Prabhu, thank you so much for a beautiful class. You've described the artificiality of Siddha Pranali, and you've also made a point about our constitutional position being inherent. It is within us, as Prabhupada said. There's the particular relationship.
All acharyas say that.
So the question I have is, there is a process of devotional service, ado shraddha, tato sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya set. So at which point does that swarup, that particular relationship with Krishna, within that process of ado shraddha, tato sadhu sangha, etc., becomes manifest?
Yes, so correct. Rupa Goswami gives 8 stages. We've only got a minute or two. First one is Shraddha. So they're all based on rag. You're coming to class, why? Because you're attracted, right? So Shraddha means I'm attracted. Then Sadhusanga, I'm attracted, I have rag for Sadhusanga. Then I have rag for Bhajana Kriya. I'm attracted to doing Bhajana Kriya. And then by Bhajana Kriya I overcome anartha. So my attraction is becoming more. So everything is based on attraction. Krishna is everything. Why do the materialists want the material energy? Because they're attracted. Why do we perform bhakti? Because we're attracted to the Supreme Lord. So then, after anartha nivritti, 4 anarthas, we haven't got time to discuss, but the number 4 is Hrida Abalyam, weakness of heart. So if you have strong determined Hrida Vrata, you can overcome your anarthas. So, I'll tell you the first 3. First one is Swarupya Apapni, that you don't understand the form of Krishna and your relationship with Krishna, philosophically. Second one is Asatrista, you hanker for material things. Third one is Aparad, Dham Aparad, Nam Aparad, Seva Aparad and Vaishnava Aparad, and then Hrida Balyam. So we're attracted to Krishna and we're attracted to overcoming my anarthas. I don't want them. I'm attracted to purity. Then we become Vaishnava, Nishta. So Nishta means we see everything as Krishna and everything is the Leela of Krishna. The Virat Rupa, everything is Leela of Krishna. ISKCON is the Leela of Krishna. So that is the Vaishnava vision. He sees everything is the Leela of Krishna. Then Ruchi comes. So the low stage of Ruchi, I'm attracted, Ruchi. Oh, I'm seeing everything as Krishna. I've overcome my anarthas. I'm getting the high. And then that Ruchi turns to Seva. I'm chanting not because I like the Ruchi, because it's my offering to Krishna. So prema is starting to wake up. So that makes one a Shakti. That's when a Shakti follows. Oh, I'm not just enjoying chanting and being a devotee, but it's my service to give ruchi to Krishna. So that starts bhava. So at stage of bhava, that's when Swarup Shakti comes. When we realize Krishna and we realize our relationship. That's another point on these apasampradayas. They, at the neophyte stage, they imagine that they have their Swarup. No, Swarup will manifest at bhava bhakti. But first,